About some of your picks to fill out your administration, you named Kash Patel to be the next FBI director. Yeah. He has a list in his book of 60 people that he calls members of the so-called deep state. It includes Democrats like Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton. It includes former members of your cabinet, from Bill Barr to Christopher Wray. You campaigned on destroying the deep state. Do you want Kash Patel to launch investigations into people on that list?
No, I mean, he's going to do what he thinks is right.
Do you think that's right? Do you think that's right, sir?
Let me I don't know. I really didn't even think about what it would mean to have him in charge of the FBI. I mean, it's really like, you know, I give Eric a lot of jobs and mostly it's pouring concrete.
If they think that somebody was dishonest or crooked or a corrupt politician, I think he probably has an obligation to do it. But
are you going to direct him to do it?
No, not at all. Not at all. We have two great...
Well, he doesn't have to. That's the whole point of putting these guys in and just turning them. He's just going to wind them up and set them loose. That's obvious. Like, he just wants to fucking golf and have the title.
People that we have him and we have Pam. And Pam Bondi has been like a rocket ship. She's very popular and very good.
She's been like a rocket ship, yes. I don't understand. She scars the landing pad or the takeoff platform when she... I don't understand. How is she like a rocket ship? You mean as your... Oh, because your first rocket blew up on the pad, you replaced it with IC. I got you. Okay, cool. By the way, you're watching How Sparks Make It Worldwide. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show, share it around. I'm going a little long tonight. Just prepare yourselves because A, I missed you guys, and B, we're halfway through this.
And very fair. And Kash Patel is very fair. I'll tell you, I thought Kash may be difficult because he's, you know, a strong conservative voice. And I don't know of anybody that's not singing his praises. The other day.
Really? So you're insulated right now. You're basically living a Howard Hughes lifestyle. You're not hearing any of the shit about him.
I was watching, and Trey Gowdy, who's a moderate person and very, very smart and very respected in the party, he's Kash's biggest fan. He said, this is the most misunderstood man in politics. He's great. I guess they worked together on the Russia hoax or something. And
right, so they're on the same team. Yeah, he's a moderate who worked on the Russia hoax.
And Trey Gowdy became a fan. You know Trey Gowdy. Everybody respects him.
No, they don't. He's quite odd.
And
thank you, Alexa.
Know, just like him, others also. I don't know if...
Yes, others also. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
One negative vote. I don't think he's going to have any negative votes.
Is it your expectation?
Oh, yeah? Well, they're a little busy with your other people who are shitting the bed. They'll get around to him.
Though, that Kash Patel will pursue investigations against your political enemies?
No, I don't think so.
Do you want to see that happen?
If they were crooked, if they did something wrong, if they have broken the law, probably. They went after me, you know. They went after me and I did nothing.
That's a yes.
Wrong.
Well, let me ask you this. You said President Biden... quote, that you're going to appoint a real special prosecutor to go after Joe Biden. You said that.
Yeah, but you said you won the case in Florida because your judge down there said the government doesn't have the right to appoint special counsels. Oh, I'm kidding. I don't think this is hypocrisy. What are you talking about?
Where did I say that?
The campaign.
Where?
You said that on Truth Social, June 12th, 2023. I will appoint a real special.
Yeah, dude, she's not making shit up like you are. I have concepts of when you said it, asshole. What do you want?
Prosecutor to go after the most corrupt president in the history of the United States, Joe Biden, and the entire Biden crime family. Are you going to do that? Are you going to go after Joe Biden?
I'm really looking to make our country successful. I'm not looking to go back into the past. I'm looking to make our country.
Good Lord.
Successful. Retribution will be through success. If we can make this country successful,
no, same shit with Hillary. It was all a game. It was all bullshit. Yeah,
that would be my greatest. That would be such a great achievement. Bring it back. We have a country now that's overridden with crime.
No, we don't.
That has millions of people that shouldn't be here, that should be in prisons in other countries, that should be in mental institutions. We have.
Yeah, but. We're not talking about your cabinet picks anymore.
Drug lords being dropped into our country and told never go back to their country.
They are? And drug lords are you know, well known for following orders.
I'm looking to make our country great. I'm looking to bring prices down because, you know, I won on two things, the border and more than immigration. You know, they like to say immigration. I break it down more to the border, but I won on the border and I won on groceries. It's very simple.
Yes, people think that we are suffering monetary inflation instead of supply shock after a giant pandemic. Yes. And Kristen Welker is part of the media that made people not understand that coming out of that we're paying a slavery tax now on clothing that we no longer want to get from Xinjiang slave cotton and the like. And we're having to move some supply chains closer to home. And that makes stuff more expensive, which is not monetary inflation. It's why the dollar's worth more than a dollar. But you won on what you would call common sense and I would call common misconceptions.
Simple word, groceries. Like almost, who uses the word?
Who uses the word groceries? People, normal people who do their own shopping. Most Americans.
Started using the word, the groceries, when you buy.
I started using the word. So, sorry, maggots. What was that about elites again?
Apples, when you buy bacon,
Yeah, apples and bacon. Yeah. For my famous apple bacon dish.
you buy eggs, they would double and triple the price over a short period of time. And I won an election based on that. We're going to bring those prices way
How?
down.
I want to pause here.
How? You're going to kick out all the people that process those foods? Dead serious. Who the fuck? How do you think they get the eggs out of the, out from under the chickens, out of the nests? How do you think they do it? You think the things just like tip up and they all dump out?
Because what you're saying is significant. Because you wrote on Truth Social in 2023 that you're going to appoint a real special prosecutor to go after Joe Biden. Now you're saying you're not going to do that.
I will say this. No, I'm not doing that unless I find something that I think is reasonable.
Because he knows there's nothing there. It was all bullshit. He knows. He knows it was all a lie. He's talked to Comer. He's talked to Jim Jordan. He know that they looked for fucking 3 years straight and didn't find anything.
But that's not going to be my decision. That's going to be Pam Bondi's decision and, to a different extent, Kash Patel. Assuming they're both there, and I think they're both going to get approved.
She will. He might not.
But I while you ask me that,
and also, by the way, he has to fire Ray to do it, which is another thing. Like Ray actually has a term. Everybody else he can swap out. It's a much bigger deal to fire Chris Ray.
What they've done to me with weaponization is a disgrace.
We'll get to some of that.
No,
sir.
wait. You can't do one without the other. In the history of our country, nothing like this has ever happened.
Yeah, because we've never had a fucking unrepentant, pussy-grabbing fraudster as president that we know of.
And I've won these cases. I've won.
No, you haven't.
Every one in the rest.
You ran out the clock, motherfucker.
In the process of being won. Deranged Jack Smith is on his way back to The Hague, where he can execute people. This is where he should have stayed. I think he's dangerous even being there. But
what were you worried for war criminals? He probably is.
I'll tell you what they've done to me in terms of weaponization, indictments, impeachments, and everything else. And in the end, it probably helped me because I got the biggest vote, the most votes any Republican's ever gotten in history.
Pam Bondi talks
because of population. Never mind. Per
about
capita is not a real
investigating the
thing.
investigators. Do you want her to investigate Jack Smith?
I want her to do what she wants to do.
Do you want to see Jack Smith investigated?
Well, I think he's very corrupt, but I want her to do whatever she has
Are
to do.
you going to direct her
No,
to
I'm not.
prosecute
I'm not.
Jack
She's
Smith?
a very smart person. She was a great
Because he knows he didn't do anything wrong.
attorney general in Florida. She's very experienced. I want her to do what she wants to do. I'm not going to instruct her to do it, no.
Sir, are you going to fire the current FBI director, Christopher Wray, who you appointed?
Well, I can't say I'm thrilled with him. He invaded my home. I'm suing the country over it. He invaded Mar-a-Lago.
He did? Really? Did you get anally probed?
I'm very unhappy with the things he's done. And crime is at an all-time high.
No, it isn't.
Migrants are pouring into the country that are
Also not the FBI's deal.
from prisons. And
Why is CPB like off the fucking hook and Homeland Security and he's just like the Customs and Border Patrol are apparently like his best friends in the world, but all he does is say they just let people through.
from mental institutions, as we've discussed.
Yes, it's weird. Your brain clicks on that and nobody knows what the fuck you're talking about.
I can't say I'm thrilled. I don't want to be Joe Biden and give you an answer and then
You will never be Joe Biden. You didn't get an infrastructure bill passed. You didn't get a rescue passed. If the Democrats hadn't written one up, you never would have presented one. He got everybody vaccinated, got the country back on its feet. You're never going to be Joe Biden.
do the exact opposite.
We're going to talk about
so
that.
I'm not going to do that.
He's a widow who stayed with his second wife for the rest of his fucking life.
What I'm going to say is I certainly cannot be happy with him. You take a look at what's happened. And then when I was shot in the ear, he said, oh,
Yeah, I don't see anything.
maybe it was shrapnel. Where's the shrapnel coming from? Is it coming from heaven? I don't think so.
The shrapnel would be from the teleprompter. That's the argument people were making, and rightly so. It's kind of it's why a piece of it that went zing by you slowed down enough to where it was caught on camera.
So we need somebody to straighten.
Every time it rains. Shrapnel from heaven.
You know, I have a lot of respect for the FBI, but the FBI's respect has gone way down over the last number of
Among Republicans, because you thought you guys had a kiss my ass card.
years.
Don't you have to fire him in order to make room for Kash Patel if he is in fact confirmed?
Well, I mean, it would sort of seem pretty obvious that if Kash gets in, he's going to be taking somebody's place, right? And somebody is the man that you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, but you got to fire him and then you nominate a new one.
Let's talk
Theory.
about Project 2025. This is the conservative policy blueprint. You disavowed it during the campaign. You called it a product of the radical right. You've said some of their
not all.
ideas
No,
were
I
abysmal.
said some of it is. Some of
Okay.
it is very good. Some
Okay.
of it's very mainstream.
Yeah, some of it's actually, now that I've looked, and now that I don't have to pretend that I haven't seen it anymore.
Actually, frankly, the Democrats should have used some of it because they went, with all the transgender that they were doing, or with the men playing in women's sports.
Well,
if they wouldn't have done that, maybe they would have done better.
Well, so you take me to my question. You're now giving people involved in Project 2025 prominent roles in your administration. Are you changing your mind about Project 2025? Is this now the policy blueprint for the second Trump administration?
Some people, if you take a look at the group, it was hundreds of people were involved. And I was actually, I reprimanded the whole group. I said, you shouldn't have placed this document in front of the voters because I have nothing to do with it and I'm the
Right. You can't put this out because shh.
one that's running. You had no right to do this where you put a 1,000-page document in front, and many of those things I disagree with. Now, many of those things I happen to agree with. Many of those things Democrats should have agreed to, and I think they would have done much better in the election because they got slaughtered.
Well, I guess people see the list: Russ Vought, Brendan Carr, Peter Navarro, John Ratcliffe, Pete Hoekstra, Monica Crowley, and they think these are all of the people who were involved in or writing Project 2025.
But they have-
This must be a blueprint for work requirements, eliminating the Head Start program, criminalizing pornography. Is that what we can expect
Well, I
to
don't
see?
know how they voted. I don't know. I never spoke to them actually about it.
You don't know how they voted. It's not a fucking bill, dum-dum. They wrote it. Not vote. Not vote. Wrote. Wrote. They wrote it. They helped to write it. Not vite it for the votes.
And I purposely, and I told you, normally it would be just the opposite. I'd review every page. I purposely
Yeah, totally. You big reader.
didn't even want to see it.
Right. So I could have plausible deniability. Just write it up for everybody else.
Because when somebody like you asks me a question about Project 2025, I can honestly say I've never seen it.
Right. Yeah, he's just telling you. It was plausible deniability.
I have nothing to do with it. I didn't read it, but I did hear some things in there that I would totally disagree with. And I said to the people that were really the people behind it, you know who those people are, I said, you really had no right doing this to me because they used it as a soundbite, the Democrats. And I don't know, it couldn't have been too effective because they got slaughtered, but they did use it
You had a lower popular vote margin than Hillary Clinton.
as a soundbite.
But to people who see, oh, he's bringing in all of these people from Project 2025, he must know what it is.
Well,
you say what?
I don't know what it is. No, I don't know what it is.
You still don't know
but
what
I
it is?
heard
All these
certain
people
things
are
that I
coming in
didn't
from
like.
your-
And by the way, I heard certain things that are phenomenal.
Right. So you only heard the things you like and you don't like, but you don't know anything about it. Jesus.
What?
Like law and order. We want law and order.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it said. Yeah, there was a whole The whole chapter on Law and Order, Criminal Intent. It's a good one. I D'Onofrio a lot.
Okay, little things like, let's put prisoners in jail.
Well, are they? I mean, it's a good point. Are they prisoners before they're in jail? I mean, I don't want to get too semantical about it. I mean, this is the kind of thing that, Kant might have argued while he was having a drinking contest with Nietzsche. But you're not a prisoner until you're in jail or whatever. Or are we all? I see where you're going. Yeah.
Let's not let people come out and raid every drugstore in Manhattan.
Sure.
So that we have to put glass up and every store is going out of business.
Let me ask you about something you've referenced a couple of times.
Where was that? I just want to know. I'll look it up.
In this interview. I asked you last time we sat down for an interview.
Schrodinger's prisoners. That's right, Kareem.
Pardon yourself. You said no. But now that President Biden has pardoned his son, Hunter, are you reconsidering? Might you pardon yourself?
I didn't do anything wrong.
Okay.
I was given the option. And the lawyers told me, a very specific lawyer, I don't have to go into who. But
yeah, don't, please. Thanks.
Very high up in the administration said, sir, if you pardon yourself, you're going to look guilty. And you did nothing wrong. Oh, I had that option. I could have saved myself a lot of legal fees.
No, because your shit was like, your state charges still exist.
But it turned out that I was right. Look at what's gone on. Everything's being dropped. I still have.
Yeah, because you won the election, not because you weren't guilty.
Fani Willis, a total hoax. That's a total hoax. It's all being dropped. It's all been discredited. It's been dropped. There are those people that say, and this would be the first time in history, that all of those fake indictments, they were going after a political opponent. There are those that say that I actually did better in the election because of it. Now, that would be a first. I think you would agree.
No, more people were turned off by the electoral process entirely and lowered turnout.
Because normally that's like you go.
Again, 1.5% over, margin in the popular vote, half of what Hillary Clinton got. Hers was like 3%.
Back to the microphones. You say, I'm leaving right now. I will leave office. I'm going back to my family and I will fight for my name. Well, I had to fight for my name in public because I didn't leave office. But no, I didn't want to pardon, and I didn't want to pardon myself. I had the option to pardon myself.
And you don't want one now? You're not going to pardon yourself now?
What do I need one for? First of all, I've won almost all of the cases.
What if President
Biden... And the ones that I didn't win are on resuscitation.
What if President Biden offered you a pardon? Would you accept it?
I've never even thought about it. I don't think he'll do it. Look, if he did, he's the one that started this whole thing.
Yeah, he started it.
He got the Justice Department to go after me.
No, I mean, he was literally out of office when all this stuff started about the impeachments because of Russia in 2017, 2018.
And the state cases are all being run by the Justice Department, which is illegal.
Well, then go after them for that. Go take a look at the files, show that they're running it, expose it all. Look at that. They're running it. They told them to go after me. Just put declassify it. Knock yourself the fuck out.
They had their people from the Justice Department work for Alvin Bragg in order to get something going. They worked for Letitia James in the state. He had his...
They had to coordinate with him because you had Secret Service protection, stupid.
People go from the federal government and take lesser jobs in the state.
Yeah, because they hated your guts and they worked around you and they knew what a criminal you were, and they took it as like a mission.
In order to get Donald
And he denies he had anything to do with it.
No,
and
you can't deny it. You know why?
Yeah.
Because they were there. Wait a minute. Wait.
They were there in Washington, D.C., in the general area,
you
the zip code.
Have a tendency to sort of...
Thank you, obnoxious Scott.
Slough over things. You just made a statement.
Hold on. They snuff all over it? What? The snuffleupagus what?
You have a tendency to sort of like slough over things.
Yeah, she does. I will say that. She sloughs a lot. There's a lot of sloughing going on. She sloughs over. Does she, though? Is she a slougher? Is she known to be a slougher?
You just made a statement. His person, the top, maybe the third or second or third person, left the federal government, the DOJ, and went to work for Letitia James. And then, after they got that one started, went to work for the DA.
Let me ask you about some.
Yeah, they were on the case. They were all working together. They were working on a case together. That's who it gets handed off to.
Of this new reporting. NBC News is reporting that President Biden is considering giving preemptive pardons to the likes of Liz Cheney, Adam Schiff, and Anthony Fauci. If President Biden doesn't issue those pardons, do you think they are going to wish that he had? Are they going to be pursued?
I can tell you this about Cheney, and she's a so-called Republican. I think she hurt the Democrats terribly. When I saw that Kamala put Cheney out on the campaign trail, I said, that's the end of Kamala. I really did. I thought it was a terrible move, especially if you're a Democrat. But Cheney did something that's inexcusable, along with Thompson and the people on the Unselect Committee of political thugs and, creeps. So the Unselect Committee...
I'm sure that hurts, by the way. He called him a creep. Imagine being called a creep by a pussy-grabbing, adjudicated rapist. You know what I mean? It hits you. You know what I mean? Unless, I guess you could just say takes one to know one and call it a day.
Went through a year and a half of testimony. Wait. They deleted and destroyed all evidence of...
No, they did not.
...that they found.
No,
you know
they
why?
Didn't. Because they didn't?
Because Nancy Pelosi was guilty. Nancy Pelosi turned down 10,000 troops. You wouldn't have had...
No, she didn't. You were intending on them supporting your followers on January 6th.
...at a J6 because other people were guilty. The people that said that I attacked 2 Secret Service agents in a car. I grabbed one around the neck. I was then rebuffed, and I grabbed the other one. These are 2 of the toughest men anywhere on the planet.
Yeah, but you thought they couldn't hurt you because you're president.
They happen to be slightly younger than me, maybe, just a little bit. Let me just tell you. They testified. They said it was total. And all of this stuff came out. People lied so badly. Now, listen, this was a committee.
And by the way, this asshole is still grinding on this stuff. Motherfucker, you're president-elect. Water under the fucking bridge.
A big deal. They lied. And what did they do? They deleted and destroyed a whole year and a half worth of testimony.
No, they didn't.
Do you know that I can't get... I think those people committed a major crime.
Sir?
You're a weirdo. It still exists.
And Cheney was behind it.
Well,
and so was Benny Thompson and everybody on that committee.
We're going to...
Hey, go after him. Go take him to court and try to throw him in jail for destroying evidence. And then in the discovery process, they'll be able to prove, because they're still, I mean, Schiff's a senator, that they'll be able to prove that it still exists, and they'll go, it's right there. And then they can, sue your administration for malicious prosecution and sue Kash Patel and Pam Bondi personally for damages, and yourself, I guess. You could sue the administration.
What they did,
Yeah.
honestly, they should go to jail.
So you think Liz Cheney should go to jail?
For what they did.
Everyone on the committee, you think
I think
should go to
everybody
jail.
Anybody that voted in favor.
Are you going to direct your FBI director and your attorney general to send them to jail?
No, not at all. I think that they'll have to look at that, but I'm not going to. I'm going to focus on drill, baby, drill.
When you say that,
on
it carries
strengthening the
weight, though. You've tapped these people to lead the Justice Department and FBI.
They can do whatever they want.
Okay.
Yeah, they can do whatever they want. I don't know what they're going to do.
Biden can give him a pardon if he wants to, and maybe he should. Just remember, Unselect Committee, a year and a half of sworn testimony, and after getting all of the testimony, they deleted it, and they destroyed almost everything.
They didn't. They literally didn't. She needs to just go, that's not true. All of it's still available online. It still exists.
Nothing left. It's unprecedented.
And they denied
If you
doing
do that in a civil case, you go.
And also, wait, why is she saying they deny doing that? It still exists. You can fucking look it up. You can go to the Jan 6 committee website. It's archived.
go to jail.
You know they deny doing that, and officials say that the order never came in for
They
the
put
National
out
Guard.
a statement.
On January 6th, let me ask you this about January 6th. I think
Benny
you're going to want to
Thompson
answer
wrote
this.
in a statement that he has destroyed
Yeah.
all evidence.
Let me ask you this about
It's
January
amazing.
6th.
I wish you could be you know.
Also, no, he didn't. What the fuck is he talking about? And the fact that she doesn't know this and this, like, because he hammers on this bullshit all the time.
You have such potential. If you could be just non-biased, you hurt yourself so badly.
Unbiased.
I'm telling you, they deleted and destroyed all the evidence. Everyone.
Select January 6th final report supporting materials collection. January 6th committee final report supporting materials. Final report supporting materials. Court documents supporting materials. Documents on file with select committee. Supporting materials. Select committee hearing videos. Supporting materials. Transcribed interviews and depositions. Supporting materials. Video exhibits. Supporting materials. Web resources referenced by the committee. Also, the collection at the Library of Congress on January 6th. They put all this stuff in. This is the General News and Internet Archive, United States Congressional Web Archive, the Executive Branch Federal Government Web Archive, and the Public Policy Topics Web Archive is all on there. Collection period, March 2021 to present. This is an ongoing archive, so they're still collecting since they've started gathering all this shit. It's still there.
Knows it. And you slough it off like it doesn't mean anything.
No, I'm just saying they deny it. That's all I'm saying.
Kristen, if I did it, you would be standing up in that chair shouting at me. And you know what I'd do? I'd say, you got me. They have done something so illegal. They have.
Also, she's saying the denial about the 10,000 troops or whatever shit, and he's talking about the erasure of evidence. You don't have to say they denied it about something like that. It still exists. It's still archived.
A committee sworn to, and because it was so bad, the only reason they did it is because the testimony turned out to be in favor of me, like Secret Service testified and disputed everything.
Yeah, all the transcripts from all those interviews are still on the website.
It made them into a bunch of liars, not Secret Service. It made the people.
Yeah, the people, we the people, I guess.
Get rid of it because it made Nancy Pelosi, the mayor of D.C., so many people look like criminals. And I will tell you, it's illegal for them to delete and to destroy that evidence.
Let me ask you about January 6th in a different capacity. Okay.
Also, what? No. Stop. They didn't get rid of the evidence. It still exists. All the Jan 6 video that everybody posted is all there. What he means is, and I'm fairly certain this is where he heard it from or where he extrapolated from, was that anybody that they interviewed that they didn't use as part of their case or that wasn't exculpatory, which they would pass on because they legally would, but if they were going to recommend charges, they would have to. After they got their transcripts, they purged the video so that people couldn't use video interviews of people. They just could go by their transcripts. And if they want to bring those people back in to testify in court, they would testify in person. You couldn't just use the footage of that person testifying. You could go use the transcript because they weren't legally deposed in a criminal case. So you don't get to keep the video of them forever. You get to transcribe it, and that's that. So the vast majority of them, especially the stuff that wasn't related or wasn't germane to the conversation, they ditched it. That was it. But all the transcripts still exist. And the vast majority of these things still exist.
Okay, I think you're going to want to answer this question. You promised to pardon those who attacked the Capitol on January 6th. Are you still vowing to follow through with that promise?
We're looking at it right now, most likely, yeah.
Well,
those people have suffered long and hard, and there may be some exceptions to it. I have to look. But, if somebody was radical, crazy, there might be some people from Antifa there. I don't know,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You're not going to, they were there with the Jan Sixers, but if they turn out to be Antifa, is that what you're going to do? You're just going to, anybody you don't want to turn loose because they're going to shoot their family for turning them in, you'll just call them Antifa and leave them there?
Because those people seem to be in good shape. Whatever happened to Scaffold Man? You know who Scaffold Man was? He stood on a scaffold telling everybody to go and nothing happened to him. Whatever happened to Ray Epps? Now, I don't know anything about Ray Epps, but...
Oh, fuck, man. Dude, he won a lawsuit. You're gonna get sued. You can sue the president for defamation in this case. Ask E. Jean Carroll.
It was sort of strange the way he was talking. Where is he? What happened to him? Because the people that did very little, they arrested an old woman because I don't think she did anything. They don't even know what she did.
Yeah, it's true. This old lady, she wasn't anywhere near the Capitol. They don't even know what she was doing. They arrested her. They didn't have any evidence. Nobody even testified. They just threw her in jail for being old. And that's a true story. I could chase this down, but I honestly don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
These people have suffered. Their lives have been destroyed. And yet in Portland, where they burn down half the city, they burn it down all the time. It's like a routine occurrence.
Yeah, there is no, RIP Portland, hashtag RIP Portland.
They don't do anything. They attacked the courthouse, federal courthouse. They always say federal building. Okay. They destroyed the beautiful limestone exterior of the courthouse in Portland. They killed people in Portland. Seattle, people got killed in Seattle.
Yeah, Portland and Seattle aren't the same city, right? They seem alike, but they're not.
Seattle, they took over a big chunk of the city. They took it over. They took the city away.
He took the city. He means the Chaz and the Chop, which was like a fucking park.
Minneapolis. It looked like when they said this is a friendly protest, and yet over the poor slob from CNN, his shoulder, the entire city was burning down. It looked like World War II. Nothing happened.
But
wait, nothing happened. They took over the police station.
Also, lots of people got arrested. Lots of people went to jail. FBI still looking for a bunch of people. Just like January 6th, quite frankly.
They took over the police station in Minneapolis. They burned it down. Nothing happened to anybody.
I just want to...
Nothing happened to anybody.
Yet these people have been in jail, and I hear the jail is a hellhole.
Really? I would think a law and order guy like you'd want jails to be hellholes.
They've done reports, and you would say that's true.
Yes, it is true. They have done reports.
They've done reports. This is the most disgusting, filthy place.
Forget Tijuana.
People are living in hell.
The Tijuana drunk tanks got nothing on the Washington, D.C. county jail.
And I think it's very unfair.
But
most likely I'll do it very quickly.
Very quickly.
That's the thing about prisons that are cesspools. Very unfair.
Okay, but some of them, 169 of them, have pleaded guilty to assaulting police officers.
Because they had no choice.
900 pleaded guilty to...
They had no choice. Right, because they had them on assaulting multiple police officers, and they let them plead down. You're right. Try them for the other ones. Fuck them.
To other crimes. They're also going to be eligible for a pardon from you?
Listen, it's a very tough system. Do you know,
it is. It's rough. Yeah.
Almost nobody... I saw people that didn't even go into the building and they were convicted.
Right, because there were cops outside that they beat up cops. They fired guns in the air. They coordinated people who beat up cops.
And you had the police saying, come on in, come on in. I mean, the police are saying, come on in, everybody, come on in. They had people.
That's when they were routing them around the building to get them away from the people.
You have a lot of cameras. They don't want to release the tapes.
Yes, they do. And by the way, who's they? McCarthy and Johnson?
They don't want to release the tapes.
So, but you're going to consider pardoning even those who've pleaded guilty to crimes, including assaulting police officers?
Well, sometimes they say, here's your choice.
You're not ruling it out.
Look, I know the system.
Yeah. I got rolled, baby. It's a tough one in there. I did some time in the cement condo.
System's a very corrupt system. They say to a guy, you're going to go to jail for 2 years or for 30 years. And these guys are looking, their whole lives have been destroyed. For 2 years, they've been destroyed. But the system is a very nasty system.
Okay.
So wait, how are they going to throw them in jail for 30 if they don't have enough to keep them in for 2? it sounds like they're pleading these dumb motherfuckers down. Now, granted, when you let these guys out, it's not like they're going to be, you know, they'll be greeted as liberators. They'll be, you know, turning on their family members or friends who turned them in. And then, you know, you got a couple, 9 more maggot murders on your hands?
Yeah, I'm going to look at everything. We're going to look at individual cases, yeah.
Okay.
But I'm going to be acting very quickly.
Within your first 100 days, first day?
First day.
First day.
Yeah, I'm looking first day.
Issue these pardons.
You're looking first day.
These people have been there, how long is it, 3 or 4 years?
Okay.
Right. So why do you need to look? Haven't you reviewed the cases? Don't you have people reviewing the cases? Won't you know who you're going to let go on day one? Can't you name any of them?
You know, by the way, they've been in there for years, and they're in a filthy, disgusting place
Oh, it's filthy and disgusting.
that shouldn't even be allowed to be open.
Wait, you want to close the DC jail?
Let's talk about
What? Wait, no. Let's not. This motherfucker thinks we need to close the DC jail. Period. Because of, health code violations? What do you mean?
your cabinet picks. I know we started off talking about Pete Hegseth, but I just want to return to that very quickly. Have you gotten assurances from senators that he's going to be confirmed? Do you think he can make it?
No, I think you will, yeah. I've had a lot of senators call me up saying he's fantastic.
Yeah, not enough.
You don't drink yourself.
No.
You've talked about how devastating drinking can be.
No.
How concerned are you that the person who you picked for this top job at the Defense Department, at least
is a raging alcoholic and a mean drunk and gets sloppy and tries to fuck women, fucks women at Republican women's conferences.
According to those who've worked with him, has struggled
against their will, allegedly.
with drinking.
But I've spoken to people that know him very well, and they say he does not have a drinking problem. And,
You mean his drinking buddies?
he had a lot of knives out for him. A lot of people don't want to see the military made better.
Really? Who? Who doesn't want to see the military made better? What the hell?
Let me ask you about former Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard. You picked her to be the Director of National Intelligence.
Right.
In 2017,
Is she going to go to Assad's funeral? I'm kidding. He's alive.
she had 2 secret meetings with Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad. Do you have questions or concerns about those meetings?
No. And he's got bigger problems right now.
Well, do you think it
Because
makes it hard for her?
His country is collapsing.
Yeah, I mean, do you think it compromises her
look,
ability to
I met
handle
with
that?
Putin. I met with President Xi of China. I met with...
Yeah, you were president at the time, stupid. Or president-elect. She's a rando congressperson, and she met with him in secret.
Kim Jong-un twice. Does that
When
mean
you were
that I can't be president?
well, when you were president, they weren't
I know,
secret
but look,
meetings.
people meet. All these people meet. I mean, I see some of the most dishonest people. I'll tell you, the 51 agents that said that the laptop wasn't from Hunter, it was from Russia. What about them? Tell me about them. Do you think they did something wrong? Do you think they were all so stupid that they...
What the fuck does that have to do with meeting somebody under the table and possibly conducting, violating the Logan Act and acting as a foreign agent?
They thought that the laptop from hell?
So you have confidence in Tulsi Gabbard?
I do. So does she's a very respected person.
Oh, yeah, a very respected person. That means if it goes to shit, other people recommend her. She came very highly recommended. She was very highly recommended. People thought very highly of her. It's the same thing he's doing with Pete Hegseth. That's the way he gets out of all this shit. It's just, people, you assholes told me she was good.
Let me ask you about RFK Jr. He has obviously talked about his skepticism of vaccines. He's expressed opposition.
His skepticism about you.
To childhood vaccines. Do you want to see childhood vaccines eliminated?
If they're dangerous for the children. Look.
So possibly?
When you look at some of the problems, when you look at what's going on with disease and sickness.
Yeah, disease. Yeah, when you look at what's going on with disease and sickness. Hey, you want to look at what's going on with disease and sickness in history books before we had vaccines? You absolute tit.
In our country, something's wrong.
Are you talking about autism?
Well, if you take a look at autism, you go back 25
Yeah, take a look at it.
years. Autism was almost non-existent. It was.
That's because you didn't call it that. There was no spectrum. It didn't have a label. They were called mentally challenged or retarded or whatever. Like, there's a myriad of things.
1 out of 100,000, and now it's close to 1 out of 100.
Yeah, because we're better at figuring it out, and there are varying degrees of it. That's like saying, at one point we only had one kind of diabetes. Now we have so many more people with diabetes that we got type 1 and type 2. And yeah, there's a difference in how you treat it. And you keep type 1 from turning into, getting worse. It's so stupid. Yeah, Alzheimer's, right. Nobody cared about Alzheimer's. All these people have Alzheimer's now. I know it's crazy. I mean, nobody knew what Lou Gehrig disease was before Lou Gehrig was born. I blame him.
Well,
I mean, what's happening? If they can find it. Now, I did something the other night that was a little unusual.
Laura Loomer?
At Mar-a-Lago, I called the drug companies, the top drug companies, and I called RFK Jr. and Dr. Oz and some of his people.
And I had the big pharmaceutical companies come over and have a meeting with us at Mar-a-Lago. Mm-hmm.
And I said, let's all get together and...
Mm-hmm. And see if we can work out a little something on the backside. It's like an extortion scheme.
Let's figure out where we're going, because we're going to do a lot of things. Number one, we're going to reduce prices because the middleman makes more money than the drug companies.
Absolutely. And the thing you want to do is, look, I don't care if they give kids autism or make them sick. I just want to make sure that we're getting a good price.
In all fairness to the drug companies, there's a middleman that nobody even knows who they are. And you look at our drug prices, they're much higher than the prices for the same medicine, for the same stuff. So we met. And we met for a long time.
Yeah.
And we talked about pricing, and we talked about vaccines, in terms of what happens.
Yeah, in terms of what happens.
We talked about pesticides. We talked about everything.
Why do you talk about pesticides with pharmaceutical companies?
And I think a lot of good things are going to come from him.
Yeah, of course.
And he's not going to upset any system.
No, that's excellent. He's not going to upset any system. He's not going to upset any system. I thought the whole point was that you were going to upset the establishment, which, if I'm not mistaken, is a system.
Not going to upset this. He's not looking to, to reinvent the wheel totally.
Totally.
But when
he's trying to, he wants to reinvent the axle and the steering wheel and the the cooling system and the muffler and the carburetor, but not the wheel.
Look at the numbers. We really don't have a very healthy country.
Well, sir, going back 25 years, studies show that there is no link between vaccines and autism, and yet it sounds like you are open to the possibility of him looking
I'm
at
open to
getting rid of them.
I think somebody.
Yeah, he's open to anything. Absolutely.
Has to find out. If you go back 25 years ago, you had very little autism. Now you have it. I mean,
well, they say because they're better at identifying it.
Well, yeah. I don't think so, but I don't know. But I'm open to everything, and it's all good.
1 in 100,000, and now it's 1 in 100. That's a pretty bad number.
Childhood vaccines.
I mean, something is going on. I don't know if it's vaccines. Maybe it's chlorine in the water, right?
Yeah, totally. That's what I think. That's what I've been saying. What about chlorine? It's fucking swimming pools. That's what does it. People have all these fucking above ground pools and these subdivisions. It's definitely the chlorine in the water. I agree. We need to get somebody on this right away. Totally. It's when they started putting chlorine in the water. That's what did it. Fucking chlorine.
Something is going on. I don't know if it's vaccines. Maybe it's chlorine in the water, right? People are looking at a lot of different things.
Yeah, they are. But nobody's looking at chlorine, huh? Chlorine, chlorine, chlorine. Please don't take my man.
Childhood vaccines.
I want them to look at everything.
Everything.
Yeah, look at everything. If anything will save money in the government is have everybody go refight all the fights we've already had, like we're starting from fucking scratch. Brilliant. Let's get what's this whole coal smoke thing or whatever? Honestly, really is lead a problem? It is fluoride. He's being stupid.
things. So childhood vaccines have prevented about 4 million deaths around the world every year.
I think that's
sir.
great.
Isn't that
I'm all for it. I think it's
Yeah, sounds good. I mean, you can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs. And if one in, 100,000 or 1 in 100 kids has to die to save, 80% of kids, maybe.
great. Hey, look, I'm not against vaccines. The polio vaccine is the greatest thing. If somebody told me get rid of the polio vaccine, they're going to have to work real hard to convince me.
Really? How hard? What if it's in their magic healthcare plan and they promise you that it'll make the costs go down and it'll be big and beautiful?
I think certain vaccines are incredible, but maybe some aren't. And if they aren't, we have to find out. But when you talk about autism, because it was brought up, and you look at the amount we have today versus 20 or 25 years ago, it's pretty scary.
Well, again, scientists say that's because they've gotten better at
I think we're gonna
identifying it, and there's no link in
but
studies.
the drug
so.
companies are going to be working with RFK Jr., and he's
Yeah, they're going to be, like the drug companies and RFK Jr., they're going to be like this. Just totally working together, just fusion. Absolutely.
he's been an interesting guy to me.
Yeah, interesting. Always smells like a rotten whale carcass.
I've watched him for 25 years.
I would recommend that he shut his drapes then.
And he's been an interesting guy.
Let's
I mean, that sums it up.
talk about Elon Musk, another interesting person.
He's very interesting.
Last month, one of your allies said, quote, he's behaving as if he's a co-president. Will you favor Elon Musk over other leaders of competitor companies like Jeff Bezos, Mary Barra?
No, Jeff Bezos called me. We're having dinner. As you know, Mark Zuckerberg came in. We had a really nice dinner. He asked to have dinner. I had dinner with him. I'm having
As long as there's food involved, you're good?
dinner with everybody. People like me now. It's something going on.
No, they don't. They have to deal with you. They don't like you. They just know they can manipulate you because you have a delicate ego and you're a crazy old fart.
I said, would you have come to dinner with me if I lost? I think the answer is no.
Right, because it has nothing to do with your fucking personality or your business acumen. Nobody gives a fuck. Now you're president of the United States. You have control of a lot of stuff, including federal contracts. That's why they're there, asshole.
I said nicely, kiddingly, of course, because I don't want to sound foolish. But I say,
Too late.
jokingly, would you have been here at dinner if I lost? And the answer was probably not. Look, I'm getting called by everybody. It's very interesting. It's different than
Yeah, because it's about the United States, not about you, asshole.
The first-
I don't,
when I
asshole.
won the
I don't
first time.
understand why in the world you don't understand this. You have no personality. You are boring. You are bore-ish.
I wasn't nearly as popular as this. And one thing that's very important in terms
Neither was Joe Biden, by the way. I think Obama's probably the exception. Like, he's a fun hang no matter what.
of the election, I love that I won the popular vote, and by a lot. If I didn't,
1.6%.
because they
Look, she hit him with it, 1.6%.
they would go with the other one. They say, while he didn't win the popular vote, he won a lot of. I won a lot of the Electoral College, but they would always preface it by saying, now they say he won the popular vote and he won the Electoral College and he won all 7 swing states. That was a great election.
Very quickly, because we're going to talk about the election
Same machines as last time.
coming up, but you've tapped Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, to head up this Department of Government
Not a department, it's a committee.
Efficiency.
Correct.
Which proposes cuts to the federal government. I think a lot of people hear that and they get concerned about Medicare and Social Security and
Not
Medicaid
going to have anything to do.
and
We're talking
defense
about-
spending.
We're talking
you
about
won't touch
theft,
Medicare, Social Security.
abuse, fraud.
Okay.
No, I said to people, we're not touching Social Security, other than we make it more efficient, but the people are going to get what they're getting.
Okay, so the entitlements
And
off the table.
we're not raising ages or any of that stuff.
Okay,
No,
off the table.
I won't do it.
Okay.